Hey everyone, I hope you've had a great day so far and that you're doing well. For this video, we'll be continuing through the Australian release of Combat Patrol with issue number 2. And Combat Patrol, like its predecessor Imperium, is for the Warhammer 40,000 setting. So hopefully things from here on end will now start to consolidate into much shorter videos than the initial issue 1. But this video will have a little bit of extra content regarding just the running totals that I do comparing between retail costings and the subscription costing, as I've been doing in Imperium. Anyway, let's get straight into it. Combat Patrol issue number 2. So we have the Tyranids front and center, so I suspect that should be a Hive Tyrant. And in terms of this particular issue, we will have 3 Von Ryan's Leapers included. So we'll have information about the Tyranids, and, well, I guess it'll be pretty much Tyranid-centric, really. Combat Patrol, so there is the contents of the Von Ryan's Leapers, painting, naturally the Leapers, some information about the Imperium, and then Vanguard and Invasion Swarms, collecting the Leapers, and then there is a mission playthrough. So, how to build. So we'll go through each of the build steps for the 3 included models. Now I do believe this was probably part of the Leviathan box set and is part of the current 10th edition starter boxes as well. Well, for another few months anyway. So that's pretty much building through the 1, 2, and 3 Leapers. Some basic painting information, base coating shades and highlights. It's always good to know. It does pretty much the steps on how to give your model a little bit of life. Painting guides, technique guides, etc. Now, if your Combat Patrol issue 2 is going to do what Imperium issue number 35 did to me and just start falling apart at the seams. The Imperium. So we do have some story blurb regarding the Imperium of Man. So the various defenders of humanity. So we have the Space Marines, the Astra Militarum, the Adepta Sororitas, and the Adeptus Mechanicus. Obviously there's a lot more in there as well, but high level. Vanguard Swarms, so information about the Tyranids. So I obviously don't go into this in depth, but nice to have this little information blurb. So we've got some information about the Gene Stealers there. Still not sure if I'd like the weird Gene Stealer Lictor head, but yeah. Ambush tactics, probably things that are relevant for Vanguard Swarms. Then the actual Invasion Swarm, so this is probably when like the mass of the actual Hive fleet comes to play. So I think that's a winged Hive Tyrant, probably got what Hormagaunts here. I believe that's the Norn Emissary. Wasn't around when I first got into Warhammer. So yeah, we've got the Termagants, the Hormagaunts, and I think there's a few other Gants and Gaunts in between. The Von Ryan's Leapers, so just a quick page about, you know, giving them a bit more of a thematic title, the data sheet for them, and some actual Tyranid units, which is always nice to see. So what else is here? Just basically how to give some thematic naming to, what is it, I guess, the patrol, the squad, the swarm, etc. So we do have an array of minis here, which I believe will pretty much be the Combat Patrol that we will get over time. So we've got, well, we've had the Winged Tyranid Prime, the Leapers, and I do know we have the Termagants coming soon. I think those are the Barbagaunts, I think. And I will admit I get a little bit confused with Tyranid units. Just back to that naming stuff. Predator and Prey. So this looks like, is it part of the... Well, I was going into the actual playthrough side of things. So there's that. Multi-model units, attacks, wounding, things like that. So here we have the Terminator Captain against the 3 Leapers. So I believe issue 1 had the Captain versus the Winged Tyranid Prime. So in terms of the battle sequence, just going through the various hits and rolls, etc. And then obviously what would happen if it was either a Marine victory or a Tyranid victory. Last page, just doing that general promo for Combat Patrol. So all the various Combat Patrols that you'll get over 90 issues. The paints, the brushes, there's a lot of paints there. I'm sure some of them have replaced others that were done in Imperium. So that is that. Back of issue number 2, what do we have? So, issue number 3, which is for Australia, coming soon. Well, actually, no, I take that back. Issue 3 has already technically come out in retail. I should know. Issue 3 will have 5 Infernus Marines and some, if I remember correctly, it'll have some data cards and some little terrain card pieces. And then issue number 4 will have 3 paints and a brush. So those are the future issues. So I have actually seen these 2 issues at direct retail. I'm just waiting for them to come in through my subscription, but subscription is just a little bit awkward for the first few issues as it gets into a cycle. So that was issue number 2. What was included? So we do get 3 of these bases, since we do get 3 Leapers. Now they're not going to be the enclosed bases, so these ones will be somewhat perforated to basically do your snap fit kits. Here we have the Sprue for the Von Ryans. So they do look very cool. I will admit I actually do like the way that their claws are done. I suddenly feel I kind of wish I had like an extra one, although technically I do. Just because I've seen a few people doing some conversions and kit bashes of the Winged Prime, which I have a lot of, and basically attached a Lash Whip to basically kit bash the upcoming Lash Whip Tyranid Prime. Saving some money, why not? Now, because I did the subscription, I also did receive within this particular shipment, which was my first delivery, some tools. So we have the Citadel Clippers, as well as the mold line removal tool. Now, I still don't know how this works. Maybe it's just because I'm not used to using it as a smaller tool. I think there is another version which has a decent size handle, so maybe that's it. But either way, as part of the subscription, we do get some tools for the hobby side of things, so it's always nice to have these included. In terms of costings, so I'm doing this oddly early because I was costed for the 2 issues. So in terms of running totals, so between issues 1 and 2, so the Leapers, the Tyranid Prime, and I made an educated guess on the Terminator Captain because I know the Leviathan Captain has not been sold individually from what I can see. So I've just taken a pricing of a general Terminator Captain. So if I was to get all those models, just the models, not the tools, from direct retail, definitely under $250 Australian. In terms of the actual subscription to me, because I got one of the issues included as free, $10.50. Like what, a 20th of the cost? I don't know. I'm not going to try doing mental math right now. But obviously that's a very interesting cost savings there between the subscription for the 2 issues and if I just got the models at retail. Now, I have been picking up some extra copies of issue number 1. Ooh, in fact, let's try and make things a little less boring. So I've picked up a few copies of issue number 1. 6 in total. So I've basically got like 7 of the Terminator Captain, which isn't too bad. And obviously, 7 Winged Tyranid Prime. So that was an extra 36 Australian, since it was obviously cheap. And then I've also picked up an extra 2 issues of issue 2 at their somewhat adjusted price. So overall, if I also factor in, now that I've got like extra 2 of these and all the other stuff from issue 1, it's probably closer to 80 Australian compared to the 243. But obviously, once again, that's just a weird price comparison of just picking up the issues. Obviously, it's not a case of me redoing the maths to go, if I had bought 3 boxes of Leapers at, which apparently they're 90 Australian, obviously I've still done a decent amount of savings. So it's very interesting, well, relieving to see, once again, Combat Patrol, like Imperium, is doing some very good savings on getting some of these. Now, with another 88 issues to go, am I going to always buy an extra issue or two? No. Obviously, case in point, it's in the last page. Like, there's definitely going to be armies here that I will want to try and pick up an extra issue or two, especially for some very highly coveted kits. The Wraith Lord, the Forge Fiend, Mauler Fiend, the Hell Brute. So there's a few kits there that will just naturally be cheaper to get them, you know, buy extra copies of the magazine. So yes, there will definitely be some. The issues with the Gene Stealer cults, the Astra Militarum, the Orcs, I probably won't buy extras, just because those armies don't appeal to me. Well, I don't say they don't appeal to me, they don't call out to me. But that's okay. You know, I'm not expecting every single army to be of interest, but for everything else I might pick up an extra issue or two. Really depends. Anyway, me saying short video becomes long. I'm going to leave it there. Issues 3 and 4 will come out in the future, of course. So I'll do them as soon as I get them in. I don't currently have them yet, at least not through the subscription. I could have done it with the retail issues, but I'll just wait till the sub ones come in. Anyway, thank you very much for watching the unbagging of issue number 2 for Combat Patrol, at least from an Australian perspective. Feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the content. It does help support the channel, and I do appreciate it. Feel free to check out my Instagram and the YouTube community tab for some extra bits and pieces. Trying to get a little bit more active with posting again, just because I have had a bit of a change in my professional life in terms of working hours. Not like a major change, but more reasonable. Anyway, somewhat. With that being said, stay safe and take care, and I will catch you all in the future issue 3 for Combat Patrol, which I can't give a definitive date at this point in time. Imperium, because that's all going to be running in parallel, or something else on the channel. See ya.